What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kato back again with another video. Now today's gonna be a little bit of a longer video, so I'm just gonna kind of skip this part. But anyways, today we are installing an amplifier and a subwoofer. So now for the power cable, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery. I just did both just in case, but you can just disconnect the negative. But anyways, so to route this cable, I couldn't find anywhere on YouTube or anybody was able to help me on any website. So I did see some guy on YouTube on his 2013 Civic, I think. What he did, he routed the cable through here, out all the way from this, because as you can see here, let me see, oh, there it is. You can see a little opening. So you route that through there, put it behind the hinge, and then through this rubber grommet, you're gonna need an X-Acto knife. Just go ahead and cut and route it in there, and then you can pull it out from here. And I went ahead and pulled this panel and this panel, so all you do is lift up and pop this one. This one has 2 clips. I believe this one has 3 clips right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna route this cable down here. Undo this rubber thing and pop this panel off. I don't think you have to go all the way off, but just enough to fit the cable under there. And we already have all this off from the subwoofer, so just route it all. Took the chair out. We're gonna route it behind here, and we're gonna put the amp in the trunk. So let's go ahead and do that. So unfortunately, in order to take this off, you need to take the seat belt bolt off down there. Unfortunately, I don't have a bolt small enough to do that, so what I did, I just I popped this open a little, threw the cable in there, and pried it out through here, and it's gonna go under here, under the back seat, and to the trunk. Now that we have the power cable all routed, you want to take off this kicker panel, but to do that, you would have to take this panel off, which all you do, you get your finger on it, under it, and pop it out. Same thing with this. There's 2 clips, pop it out, but you're gonna have to take the rubber seal off. So after hours of trying to figure this out, I finally figured out it's the cable all the way and the end. This is the amplifier cable, and you're gonna have to use these cables, this clip, to route all your stuff. So what you have input and you have output for this. So I'm not using a line output converter. What I am using is the amplifier's high level inputs. So what I'm doing here is I cut the wire, and the input is coming from here. So these are all input wires, and all you have to do for these ones is just connect the speakers, not the tweeters. As you can see, the tweeters cut. I did connect it the first time, but it came out distorted. So you don't want to do that, so they're cut. So then you're just gonna leave those, maybe put some electrical tape over them, but then you're gonna route these the same way you routed the power cable, through this all the way to the back, which is, by the way, follow me on Instagram, which is all the way through here, under all this stuff, to the amp. Okay, so once you get that, you can start connecting the inputs, right, to the harness, which is in that what's it called, in the manual. So I'm not gonna show you how to do that. Now that we did that, that is the input done for the front. So now for the rears, what we actually did, we cut the wires here, and we tapped into it here, and that's going to input. And don't forget, we're not using the tweeter input, or else we'll get distorted. These are for the tweeters outputs, which is how we're gonna make the tweeters work, because the tweeters get the signal from the speaker, and that's how it works. So we're gonna tap into them, and we're gonna route it behind this if you want. You can route it behind that, through under the chair and back there to get to your input. Same thing on this side. Now for the output, what we're doing, we're routing these cables from the amp, right, from the amp to the speakers that are going out. So you cut it, and input is coming from the clip output is going from the amplifier. So what we did here, we actually connected the tweeters and the speaker wires together. As you can see, I used a posi tab. I tapped into the wire because I forgot to do it before. And so now you have the tweeter and speaker in one area, and yeah, tweeter and speaker both going out for output, as you can see here. And once you get that, you're gonna still use the factory amp, so don't get rid of it. And you're just gonna plug it back in, which is over here. Let me see if I can get that. All right, right there. All right, so that's plugged in. And you can tape that off or something like that. I'm gonna actually tape all this. So let me show you how I did the back. Now, as you can see for the back, I still haven't had the tweeters put in because you need the panel there, and I haven't done the subwoofer yet. So the tweeter is here. This is going to be the output towards the tweeter, so when it comes, it's going to go out. And this is the output for the clip, or yeah, for the speaker, and it's routing back there to the amplifier. Now remember, with the amplifier, make sure all your gain is to 1, and frequency you can put it to 80 or 120. That's how much bass is going to have to the speaker. The higher the number is, the lower the bass is going to be. Now, what I did for the ground wire is I used the part that you tuck in your chair, your seat for, and that's a bolt for that seat. So I'm not gonna use it. So I ended up sanding it down. As you can see, there's the ground going up through the chair, and there's the bolt that's gonna be protecting it. Now to connect everything back here, so the input, we spliced those, so they're just clips here. Now the output is actually Allen wrench. You're gonna unscrew that, put the spliced or the cut wire into here, and then you're gonna screw it down. And now you're gonna do that also for the sub. Now I'm gonna tell you the colors of the speaker wires so you don't get confused while you're doing this. This is for a 2020 Honda Civic, and if you buy from Crutchfield, they actually give you a whole diagram. So yeah. So okay, so this is for the left front speaker, left front. You're gonna have a green, light green for positive, and then you're gonna have light blue for negative. Same thing with the tweeter. It's gonna be yellow for positive and green for negative. That's for the left front. Now for the right front, you're gonna have, let's see here, you're gonna have gray as the positive wire for the right front, and then purple or violet for the negative wire, as you can see. And then the tweeters is gonna be light green for positive and pink for negative. Now let's go to the back and let me show you the rear speakers. Now the rear speakers are gonna be, let's see here. All right, so it's gonna be red for positive for the rear speaker, gray for positive for the rear tweeter, green for negative for the speaker, and light blue for negative for the tweeter. Now you can also tell between the tweeter and the speaker that the speaker is gonna be a thicker gauge wire than the tweeter, as you can see here. Now, that was for the right rear speaker. For the left rear speaker, it's gonna be, let's see here, it's gonna be purple for positive and light green for positive tweeter, pink for negative, and black for negative tweeter, for the tweeter. And then again, you can tell they're thinner wires than the actual speaker wires. So now let me show you how I tapped in for the input on the rear subwoofer. As you can see here, I didn't even cut anything. I just used this posi tap. I tapped into the cables here, and I routed it out through there and into the harness. Now the harness is going to be different than all the other ones because you don't have four wires. So what you do is you do positive, positive, left and right into the positive, negative and negative, left and right for the negative for the subwoofer, because there is no left or right subwoofer. So then again, the wire color, let's see here, red is negative for the rear subwoofer and white is positive for the rear subwoofer. Now I also have this bass knob where you just clip into the back of the Rockford Force Gate amplifier. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plug it in, I'm gonna route it through the chair, out through here, back through here, and then here, out through here. Remember, all this is going to be removed, same thing as the right side. And then we're going to put it under here. And as you can see this, if you pop this panel off, which is just literally clips, and you have to pull like that, just like so, you're going to put your finger back here, as you can see here, and you're going to just pop it right out, just like so. And then we can actually put the bass knob right there. And if you want to get creative, you can actually drill this and put it back in so it looks more like stock. So for those of you that are not doing a full system and just have an amp and a subwoofer, you can actually just tap into this to get your input of the subwoofer, and then you can just route your subwoofer wires from the amp to the actual subwoofer itself. Alright, so now I'm going to plug this one after I just routed it. So this is the bass knob right here. Gonna hear that click, and boom. Alright, that's pretty much everything except the subwoofer. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up all the wires, maybe put some tape on it, and kind of put everything back to normal except the rear deck, because I still have to put the subwoofer. Alright guys, so for the subwoofer, I went ahead and I made this bracket out of wood. All I did was, the subwoofer came with a little cardboard box with the hole of the subwoofer in it. So I took that and I traced the stock subwoofer's bracket with it, and I just threw it on top of some plywood, and I went ahead and I cut it out just like that. And what I did, I screwed them in, as you can see here. I screwed it in here, and I made a little hole, as you can see, so then I can use the stock bolts so they can screw in all the way. Because if I would have left it, as you can see that thickness, the bolt would not have gone all the way. But now I was able to drill it a little bit and screw it all the way in. So now let's work on the wiring. Alright, so once we get the bracket in, so the wiring's really easy. So we're gonna take the 16 gauge wire, as you see here, and since we have a 4 ohm, we got these clips. So what you do, you just push up on the clip, and obviously positive goes with the red, negative with which is on my wire here, it's like a white little stripe here. So negative, 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 positive, do that on both sides. Wire it to the amp, and what you're gonna have to do is take the amp and kind of like, or take the wires and mix the negative and negative together, and then the positive and positive together, and then you're just gonna Allen wrench them right in, and then it should be all hooked up. So now all you gotta do is put all the speakers back, or all the stuff back. I'm about to wire in my tweeters for the rear deck, because I hard mounted them on there, and that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down in the comments, and we'll go from there. So I hope you guys learned something from today's video. If you guys have any questions, like I said earlier, just leave them right in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer them. Then again, this is my first time doing this, so I wasn't very sure. I've wired subs before, and I used a line output converter, but this time I didn't need one because the amp has a high level inputs, so that's why I didn't need the line output converter. But if you guys are just doing a sub, all you got to do is remember the white and red wire. I believe white was positive, red was negative. Could be other way around. I said it in the video, so just watch the video, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and have a good one, guys.